Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of United We Fall, where we dissect the beautiful, chaotic, and often hilarious train wreck that is Manchester United. This week, we're not talking about a Champions League collapse or a Premier League embarrassment. No, we're diving headfirst into the glorious mud-splattered drama of the Carabao Cup. The opponent? None other than Grimsby Town, a team so under the radar they probably use a flip phone. Grimsby, a proud League Two side, was supposed to be a nice, gentle warm-up, a chance for Ruben Amorim to give the new £200 million toy box a little test run. Instead, it turned into an episode of CSI Old Trafford, with the crime scene being United's dignity. 1. The game recap, a comedy of errors. The script for this game was written by a madman. Grimsby, a team that probably shares a single bottle of hair gel for the whole squad, went up 2-0. And who do we have to thank for this? Andre Onana, the man who came to Old Trafford with a reputation for being a great shot stopper, but now seems to be a great shot stopper for the opposition. He let in a shot from Charles Vernam at his near post. A shot so gentle it probably had a please stop sign on it. Onana saw it, considered it, and said, "Nah, that's a nice shot. Let it in." He then followed that up with an attempt to punch a corner that ended up looking more like a gentle caress. The ball, sensing its chance, found its way to a grateful Tyrell Warren, a former United youngster. That's right, a former United youngster came back to haunt them. It's like a horror movie where the ghost is your ex. United, to their credit, did what they do best: panic. They brought on the cavalry: Bruno Fernandes, Matthijs de Ligt, and Brian Mbeumo. It was like calling in the Navy SEALs to help you find your lost car keys. Mbeumo and Harry Maguire, yes, Harry Maguire, somehow managed to pull it back to 2-2. It was a moment of hope, a glimmer of light, a false promise, and we all know what happens with false promises at Old Trafford. Then came the penalty shootout, a beautiful ballet of incompetence. Matthijs Cunha, United's new golden boy, had a chance to win it. He stepped up, took a penalty so tame it probably apologized to the goalkeeper, and missed. It was a miss so bad it felt like it had its own theme music. The whole thing went on for 13 rounds, like a bad boxing match that refuses to end. Mbeumo, the man who scored the equalizer, missed his second penalty. It was a fitting end, a perfect microcosm of United's entire season: 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and a complete lack of a plan. 2. Andre Onana, the goalkeeper with commitment issues. Let's talk about Andre Onana. The man was signed for his world-class distribution and shot-stopping ability. Against Grimsby, he distributed 2 goals to the opposition and stopped exactly 0 of them. The first goal was so preventable, the commentators had to recheck the rulebook to see if it counted. He was meant to be the upgrade, the secure presence between the posts. Instead, he looks like a man who just found out his Wi-Fi is on a 1-bar signal. Onana's second blunder, where he tried to punch the ball and missed, was a work of art. It was less of a punch and more of a polite suggestion. It's like he looked at the ball and thought, "After you, good sir." It's the kind of mistake you see in a Sunday league match, not from a £40 million goalkeeper. His performance was less about saving shots and more about creating a highlight reel for the other team. At this point, I think he's doing it on purpose, just to keep things interesting. 3. The managerial meltdown, Ruben Amorim. And what about the man in charge, Ruben Amorim? The man who was brought in to instill a new, modern attacking philosophy. His philosophy against Grimsby seemed to be, let's get humiliated, then try to fix it at half-time. He spent the first half barking instructions, clearly trying to get his multi-million-pound players to understand a system they've been practicing for months. It's like trying to teach a cat to do your taxes. It's just not going to happen. But the most telling moment of the night wasn't on the pitch. It was during the penalty shootout. Amorim refused to watch. He just sat there, a portrait of dejected defeat. He couldn't even look. It's a level of emotional detachment that makes me think he's either a genius or completely lost. He probably sat there thinking, did I really trade the beaches of Lisbon for a rainy Tuesday night in Grimsby? Is this my life now? Is this what I signed up for? In his post-match interview, Amorim was more philosophical than a stoned teenager. He said, "The best team won. That's a new one. I've heard managers blame the pitch, the referee, the wind, but I've never heard a manager so calmly admit that his team of superstars was outplayed by a 4th division side." He also said, "The players spoke really loud today." Yeah, they did. They said, We have no idea what we're doing, and we're just as confused as you are. 4. The sad saga of Kobbie Mainoo. And then we have poor Kobbie Mainoo, the young talent whose transfer saga is apparently more interesting than his on-field performance. The Athletic reports he's open to a move, and the club is considering selling him. So, what's the best way to prove your worth? A turgid performance against Grimsby, of course. It's like trying to get a job and your resume just says, "I'm here, I exist, and I can pass the ball sideways." Amorim's pre-match comments about Mainoo were classic managerial doublespeak. I expect a lot from him. I believe a lot in Kobbie more than everybody thinks, which is a fancy way of saying, I have no idea what to do with him, so I'm just going to say nice things and hope for the best. Mainoo was a lockpick of a player, but against Grimsby he was more like a rusty wrench. He was undone by a team that just wanted to play. His one big moment of genius was a pass that led to Mbeumo's goal, which is great, but it was like a single drop of water in a vast desert of mediocrity. His performance was a testament to the fact that even a good player can look lost in a bad system. 5. The grand tradition of humiliation. This defeat is more than just a loss, it's a moment of historical significance. This is only the third time in 30 years United have gone out at this stage of the Carabao Cup. The last 2 times? Against York City and MK Dons. So, this isn't just a loss, it's a tribute act. A callback to a time when United were at their most chaotic and disorganized. It's like a greatest hits album of embarrassment. The defeat also means United will only play a maximum of 45 games this season. It's a new low. It's a campaign so short it's practically a mini-series. Only once since 1959 have they played fewer games. This isn't a season. It's a vacation. A vacation in purgatory. 6. The penalties. A circus act. The penalty shootout was a show in itself. Concha's miss, Mbeumo hitting the bar on his second attempt, the entire thing going on for 13 rounds. It was beautiful. It's like the football gods were just having a laugh. They looked down on Old Trafford and said, "You know what? Let's make this as painful and drawn out as possible." The whole thing was a metaphor for United's season. A long, drawn-out process that ultimately ends in tears. Amorim's new £200 million frontline, with Concha, Mbeumo, and Benjamin Sesko, who was strangely put 10th in the order. It's like he forgot to put his best player on the team sheet, just couldn't get it done. Their new signings were meant to be the solution, but they ended up being the problem. It's the ultimate irony, and a perfect example of United's cursed existence. Closing thoughts. What happens next? So, what's next for Ruben Amorim? The sacked and the morning chants have already started. The pressure is on. This was meant to be an easy win, a moment of reprieve, a chance to build confidence. Instead, it was a humiliating defeat that has left more questions than answers. He has 2 weeks to solve things, as he said, but after a performance like this, I don't think he needs 2 weeks. He needs a miracle. He needs to find a way to get his team to play like a professional football club, and not a bunch of strangers who met 5 minutes before kickoff. Grimsby won. The best team won. And that's a sentence that will haunt United fans for a very long time. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button and subscribe for more football comedy. And remember, no matter how bad your day is, at least you're not Andre Onana.